Anyway, what I was saying about the song Miss New Booty.
Yeah, a few minutes ago, Sally was like, and started to say something, but then refused to finish. She was like, I have to save this for the podcast.
Well, I just thought it would be a funny opening, but then I told the story about flamingos.
Oh, I might edit that out anyway.
So I don't know if the story about the flamingos is really
Don't!
But anyway, apparently Emily and I had vastly different middle school experiences because she did not listen to Miss New Booty by Bubba Sparks with 3 X's.
I didn't listen to music until I was about 14.
That's fair. I listened to music a lot. It was my coping mechanism. After
Stop
my
it.
parents got divorced. Hi. I would listen to those, like, Now CDs.
Oh, yeah?
Because we don't have to get into my weirdly traumatic childhood where I spent a lot of time alone. But I spent a lot of time listening to music when I was younger because it was just kind of like I was by myself. And instead of doing productive things, I would listen to music. Whatever.
You were 13. No one has to be productive.
Anyway, recently I've been like really the song Miss New Booty by Bubba Sparks stuck in my head. And like I really like the Spotify feature where you can just like save a bunch of songs. You know? Where you just like hit the little heart button. But, like, mine are always really random, and so right now it's, like, I Think We're Alone by Tiffany, which leads directly into Miss New Booty by Bubba Sparks. So I was listening to it today while writing grants, because I Think We're Alone is a really good grant writing song for me for some reason.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden it ended, and it was like, call it Blog Bubba Sparks!
Literally, I have no frame of
I know,
reference
someone will think that's funny. Okay. Emily does it, but someone will think
I think it's
funny.
charming.
No, there's, like, the opening of the song is really funny.
Like, funnier than Fergie?
No,
Bridge?
Nothing is funnier than Fergie's.
It's
oh,
the
shit.
Sirens.
Yeah.
I know, so good.
Okay, anyway, guys, I've not eaten a lot today and just took migraine medication, so I am sweaty and caffeinated. So it's gonna be
and after we finish recording this, we're going to finish binge watching The Umbrella
absolutely.
Academy.
I might go get McDonald's.
Ooh. Okay, I have no way of knowing how much of that I'm going to edit out, which parts I'm going to edit out. It all is a total mystery to me until it's happening.
16 different veins weaving in there for some type of cold opening.
Yeah, sure. Something in there. At least we're not like, oh my god.
We might have the dumbest animal alive.
I can't even describe how much of his bullshit I edit out of this stupid podcast. It's probably like 80% at this point.
The dryer.
It's so stupid.
Okay.
Yeah, hey, here we are. Sorry, it always takes me a little bit to find when I'm going to say welcome to Everybody Hates Rand. Okay, welcome to Everybody Hates Rand, your goddamn friendly neighborhood Wheel of Time podcast. Was it my turn this week?
You did so good.
Oh,
and
hey.
also you can just do it. It's okay. I've gotten over it.
Okay, I just sort of spasm. I have a little brain spasm every time. Anyway, I'm Emily Jushaw. Yes, that is how you spell my last name.
Bless you, Ferg.
I know, it's bizarre. It can't be helped.
Yeah. I'm Sally Goodger. I'm the other one.
I'm the other one. That's a good one. Fuck me, running. Spoiler alert! Also, titular PSA, which, do I even have to state it at this point? Don't DM us about your opinions on Rand. We don't care.
Because it happened again this week.
Oh, did it?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh.
So either some of you aren't listening to the podcast, in which case I don't know why I'm speaking to you, and
that
other
does
of you
tend
just aren't listening.
I do think that tends to be the scenario. People
Yeah.
just see the title and without listening to the podcast are like, I better bother these women.
Yeah. They're like, oh my god, women speaking about something that obviously belongs to me.
A man?
A man. Because
How
it...
dare you.
So yeah, we'll probably be preaching to the choir with the titular PSA, so pass the titular PSA forward.
Yeah, just say it at Thanksgiving dinner, all your family gatherings. It's all just very good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just caressing my laptop.
It was really
very
tender.
weirdly.
That's how I feel about caressing Matt in these chapters.
I do love Matt. That's how I feel about, like, if I had one of those people who DMs us about Rand face to face, I'd probably awkwardly caress their face and be like, shut your fucking mouth. No one cares.
One time this is 100% a call out. One time somebody DM'd us and was like, ... hates Rand, ? Which I'm like, I don't even know what this is. But because I am unfortunately not a full-time social media manager, I can sometimes not respond to people for a day or two. So I'm sorry if you guys message us and we don't respond. Like, it's just not because I don't see it or don't love you. It just, like, takes a second to be able to give you my energy. And, like, 12 hours later or less, he was like, okay, then don't. And I was like, okay, bye.
Okay, no.
And then he messaged us again 6 months later and was like, will you please explain to me why your podcast has this title? And I was like, nah, dog, listen to this episode where we talk about it and also fuck off.
So stupid. Okay, here we are. Now Sally's gazing hatefully.
My heart's beating really fast.
Yeah, because it was very infuriating.
And I've also had too much caffeine.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Matt is dying.
Try and
Edwin
get through
is
this.
traumatized. Nynaeve is tugging her braid, and Elaine
As
is
always.
a douchebag.
Oh, God. She's such a douchebag.
And then there's Varen, who's like, well, look
These
at this
are my-
dumpster fire. Yeah.
Varen's like, these are the garbage people that I just pulled out of a dumpster in fall.
I'm sorry, we're not going to talk about the Umbrella Academy the entire time, but remember when Klaus finds half a bagel and just, like, eats it while looking
very
Five
disturbing.
dead in the eyes?
It's such a power move.
Okay, that's it. That's the
Five
last...
is completely unfazed because, like, he has pulled the power move of all power moves, which is to return as a 60-year-old man in a 13-year-old's body.
You know,
He's
it's
like,
pretty
nothing
legendary.
disturbs me now.
Okay, dumpster fire children.
Dumpster fire children. We cut to Edwin on their way back from Tarvalon. It's been a long winter of traveling. I can relate. Just fucking hate traveling in the snow. It's the goddamn worst.
Winter is a garbage season.
I know, and there's an entire book in this series all about winter. It really disturbs you when you realize that the title Winter's Heart has been used multiple times to describe the colors of Lan's eyes. I know, Robert Jordan had a huge boner for Lan.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
Maybe Robert Jordan was dealing with some stuff. His sexual orientation. He didn't know how to handle it.
I'll just create this very manly man to love.
To love unabashedly.
That would mean that Nynaeve is Robert Jordan's self-projection, which is a really unexpected
Nynaeve
turn
is
of
our
events.
Mary Sue.
Nynaeve kind of is a Mary. Not really. She's actually a delight.
She's a pretty wonderful character.
She just is super powered, and that's awesome, and I appreciate that about her. Anyway, so you have 3 super powered teen girls, except Nynaeve, who's like in her mid-20s or whatever.
35.
Yeah, traveling along with their mom, Varen, who's
Bitch.
really done with their bullshit, and Hurin, who's like, God, I wish I were anywhere but here, literally. And Matt, who's unconscious and has been for the last 3 days.
Yeah.
Which is troubling. Anyway, they're coming into sight of Tarvalon, and Edwin, like, gives us a monologue about how she hates the color of her dress, and blah, 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 blah. She chats with Nynaeve, and Nynaeve's really obnoxious about it, as usual.
Yeah.
And Nynaeve's like, well, there's a storm coming.
Yeah.
And Edwin's like, okay, well, great. Do you know what? And Nynaeve's like, nope, that's all I know. There's a storm coming.
There's a storm.
And they're like, okay, great, well, let's intimidate Hurin. And so they go back to ride with Hurin, and he's like, goodbye. I also feel like something bad could happen soon, because we've just been riding along on this path, and there's a ton of, like, hoof prints and footprints. So clearly a large party passed through here. And Nynaeve's like, I don't find that troubling at all. And Hurin's like, well, I'm a war veteran, so I do.
Yeah.
Please don't condescend to me.
Yeah. Well, that's a chronic problem for Nynaeve.
Yeah, so condescending. God bless. Anyway, then Hurin goes up to ride with Varen, which they're all like, interesting choice, Hurin. Interesting. And then they all sort of look at Matt, who just looks sickly.
Poor Bean.
I know. It's just really upsetting.
I know.
Matt.
He's just so sickly and unconscious.
I know, there's a part where they're like, back when Matt could still talk. And I'm like, Matt being unable to talk is deeply troubling.
I know.
That's literally his greatest power, is complaining.
That is correct.
And yelling.
Yelling his complaints.
Yeah, it's just like, hello? America? Wake up.
Yeah, wake up. I'm uncomfortable.
I'm so done with this. I need to charm my way out of this situation.
With my good looks.
His moderately good looks?
With my moderately good looks
It's
and my
unclear.
charisma.
They always comment on how Rand's good looking, and
Yeah.
like several women comment on how Perrin is good looking, but no one ever really comments on Matt's looks,
Good
which
for
leads
him,
me
I
to
say.
believe that he's so hot no one knows what to do with it.
Exactly. There's just Robert Jordan's like no words. He's even hotter than Galad.
He's even hotter than Galad. But in a totally opposite way.
Yeah, where it's like one of those things where you're like, hey, physically, there's not a whole lot going on, but there's something there.
Yeah.
You know? Just
No,
a raw
Matt-
sexual power.
Okay, anyway, then they ride up and have an argument with some white cloaks. Basically some white cloaks riding up and are like, you witches, we want to burn you at the stake. And Varen's like, you literally, where's your warrant?
Yeah.
Where's your warrant of arrest? You're just a bunch of weirdo vigilantes.
Mm-hmm.
And Bornhald is like, hello, I am Bornhald, and I am literally the least intimidating antagonist of this entire series.
Yeah.
Literally. When he, like, in a few pages, when he's like, remember me, I'll come after you. I'm like, they literally never see him again.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah. Nothing. Nothing comes of him.
Sometimes I can still hear him speaking to me.
It's just, like, the dumbest setup, is all I'm saying. Artur was like, I'm gonna set up this boy to be really resentful and angry. And it's like, he doesn't
That's
do
just
anything.
a man.
Yeah, it's just a man.
That's just how they are.
Yeah, they just be like that sometimes.
All the time.
Anyway, it's just really, like, it's this really frustrating scene to read for me, because I'm just like, please, 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 just let Varen handle this. And Edwin, who's deeply traumatized and whose point of view it is like, no, I have to explode the ground at these men so that they don't, like, take us away and torture us and put me in chains. And I'm like, that's super understandable, babe, but also, please, just trust Varen, who's handled this bullshit before.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those, like, very frustrating scenes where it's like, yeah, you completely get what Edwin is doing and, like, why she responds.
Yeah, and it's like,
does.
Not just Edwin, it's also Nynaeve and Elaine, who are like, we're also going to join in on this fun time of exploding the earth.
Yeah, Nynaeve and Elaine have no excuse except they're stupid and ass-foolish.
Yeah, it's just, like, this weird thing, and it's gonna, like, continue throughout this book and somewhat into the next book, where these women are just, like, super trigger-happy.
Yeah.
And I guess it, like, kind of makes sense, because they've only recently come to terms with the fact that they have magic powers, and those can be used, like, destructively to protect themselves. It would be kind of like, it's kind of like if you're a 14-year-old boy and someone hands you a gun, and you're just like, here, if you ever feel threatened, you can use this. And it's like, no. Like, these girls should have not had the proper classes on how to handle themselves. Yeah. Or our Edwin, who's been taught to handle herself in this way.
Yeah, it just is kind of upsetting across the board, where there's not a lot of, like, youth in these books with any type of maturity or depth of thought. Like,
yeah.
Across the board, pretty, like, I'm painting it in really broad strokes, but I'm trying to think of, like, one character who's, like, young, quote-unquote, who, like, exercises, like, you know, critical thought and, like,
oh, yeah,
behaves in a way that's, like, not just, like, oh, they're young and that's why they're doing this.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it's, like, it happens with Rand and Perrin and Matt and Edwin and Nynaeve and Elaine and Avienda and Min and Aram and that dumb boy that Matt just picks up off the street.
Oliver.
Yeah. Least favorite
Oliver
character.
Twist, might as well just call him.
Yeah. So it's just kind of like, yeah, I get it. When you're young, you do stupid things, but also it would just be like, be nice if we had one of our main characters who, like, the plot wasn't constantly advanced by the fact that they're young and reckless and trigger happy, and therefore the action is happening, but, like...
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, for some reason, it's almost a little bit interesting because it's happening with the girls rather than with the boys. Like, the boys still do stupid shit all the time, but it tends to be... I can, like, less off the top of my head think of an example where they're being violent recklessly.
The boys?
Yeah. For whatever reason, it's like when they do stupid shit, it's just, like, stupid in a very different way. Like, Rand's attempt to run frantically around the fort in Shinar when he's like, gotta get away, I'm a stupid asshole. And Matt, like, blowing a hole in the Stone of Tyr. That's not, like, intentionally violent or destructive. He's just kind of, like, gonna make a big boom.
Gonna see what happens.
Just kind of gonna see what happens, you know? Like, for whatever reason, because they've been socialized to, like, behave in a certain way around violence.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I just don't know. It's, like, kind of a good thing, I guess, that it's the girls, because you don't usually get that.
Yeah.
With girls, like, having immense power all of a sudden. Like, with great power comes great responsibility. That's not usually something we hand to girls.
Yeah.
So, and it would make the boys even more obnoxious if they were like that.
Correct. No, you're definitely right. You're absolutely right. In that, yeah, we talk about how the girls don't often get to, like, explore their hard power. But there are instances where, like, yeah.
Yeah, but then it's also just, like, a transparent writer thing, kind of, where this scene where they are exploring their hard power is just like, no.
Yeah, it's like, not bad. Don't.
Yeah, bad.
Whereas, like, on the alternate side of this, sometimes when we're in, like, Matt has its own whole weird relationship to doing anything. But, like, Perrin and Rand sometimes we're, like, they have to have these, like, deep, agonizing man pain monologues about violence. So there's, like, a really interesting, like, I don't know. It's just really interesting.
I know. I feel like we say this like literally every time, but I feel like Matt is the only one who has any type of healthy relationship with violence.
I know.
It's so upsetting.
That's true.
He's the only one who just like uses it when he has to and doesn't like agonize over it.
It's just like burp.
Yeah.
We live in the apocalypse, basically.
Tellingly, of course, Matt is also like one of the boys, we've talked about this before, who isn't like given an important weapon in the first 2 books. To be like, now get trained to use this and kill with it, because it's going to be, you know, where you hinge your testicles, basically.
Yes, very inherent to your
Matt's just like, I'm a boy, here's my stick.
Here's my stick, here's my knife, here's my spear, here's my bow.
And I'm going to use them specifically when I want to save my own life or when I need money. And that's literally it.
I think those are the 2 best ways to use a bow and arrow.
I know, and he's like, gonna gamble with Galad and Gawain about how I can beat them with a stick.
Such a good scene.
I know. Can't wait.
But, yeah, so, yeah, you're right. I am glad it happens to the girls and not the boys. And it is really interesting, like...
Yeah, I guess so what mostly frustrates me about this scene is that, yeah, it's just like a door slamming shut on them. And it's like, yeah, this is like the worst possible opportunity for them to use hard power.
Yeah.
But it's also like Robert Jordan wrote it that way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and it's just very frustrating constantly to, like, see characters who act in a way that's plot convenient as opposed to, like, character convenient. Because it's like, I don't know. But again, I don't hold Edwene like, I'm not anti what Edwene does in this sequence.
Like, what she does makes sense.
Because it's like, yeah, she's really traumatized. And, like, nobody seems to be giving her any space with that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's, like, been a few months, which is, it's kind of weird for us to pick back up. We've talked about this before. It's weird for us to pick back up with all of the characters in this weird space after a few months have passed. Mm-hmm. And it's just, like... obviously trauma doesn't, like, have a timeline, like a prescribed timeline or anything like that. It just kind of puts these traumas, Rand's and Edwene's in particular, into these just, like, I don't know, this weird space where we don't know what has, happened to them in the last few months that has either, you know, added to or detracted from or, like, anything like that.
Yeah. I also think that the time skip puts, and especially because we're, at least with, like, Rand, we get a lot of it from Perrin's point of view, and with Edwene, she interacts with Nynaeve and Elaine constantly, so we get this idea that, like, everyone else around them might be incredibly frustrated with the way that they're behaving, as if they've not, like, healed in a way that is convenient, and, like, so, like, that is interesting, and that I appreciate, because it's like, yeah, trauma doesn't have a timeline, it's not linear from traumatized to healthy, you know?
Yeah, Edwene, like, butts heads with Nynaeve a whole lot in this book, which is interesting, because usually it's Nynaeve and Elaine who are at each other's throats, but, like, Edwene, one of her responses to this trauma is to, like, kind of, explore aggression and how that, like, fits with her and whether or not she can use that and how she can kind of mold that into her leadership abilities.
Yeah.
Which, again, is kind of an example of hard power becoming soft power in a way that's convenient for the male writer.
Yeah.
But, you know, on the other hand, Edwene is a really incredible leader, and she, like, uses this to progress into that. And it's just interesting because throughout this book, immediately after that trauma, her, like, first kind of victim is Nynaeve, who Edwene's just like, listen, I'm not going to take this bullshit anymore.
Yeah. Which...
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Which is, like, fair.
Which is, yeah, Nynaeve is probably... the worst of all traveling companions.
Exactly.
Because she is sort of the devil.
Yeah, like, pour one out for all the people who have had to travel with Nynaeve.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Except Elaine.
Except Elaine, who deserves it, because she gives back as good as she gets.
Good morning to everyone except Elaine.
Pour a big one out for Tom and Julian, who have to deal with both of them for, like, 3 books. God bless. Anyway, so they have this whole interaction with the White Cloaks that just ends poorly with Varen yelling at them and the White Cloaks running away and having all their thoughts and notions about Aes Sedai being reinforced.
Yeah.
Which, like, great.
I know, it's really frustrating because it's like, yes, again, we've got this, like, horrible situation where, like, it should not be on the responsibility of anyone to, like, you know, police their own behavior around people who are violent and aggressive towards them, but so often it's like, if you're around, you know, someone who hates women, you can't just constantly be, or, like, thinks women are dumb, you can't just, like, you have to be so conscious of, like, the things that you do.
Yeah, and it's, like, how black women have to navigate themselves in such a way that they don't become this cliche of an angry black woman. it's just, yeah, you can't, like, when someone comes at you with militant aggression, it's like you have to, in a way, mold yourself to fit their worldview in order to escape that situation.
Yeah.
Or to even try and educate them about it. Because it's just like, there's no winning.
Yeah. When I was in college, I went and saw the playwright, is it Susan Laurie Parks, who did Dog Underdog? Yeah, Susan Laurie Parks, who's a black playwright, a black woman who writes plays. And she was talking about how when she was younger, her mother always used to say to her, like, you are a representative of your race. Mm-hmm. And how, like, her mom was like, everyone who sees you because you are a black woman is going to, like, take everything that you do as indicative of
what all black women do.
Yeah, exactly, what all black women and all black people do. And she talked about, like, how exhausting and how frustrating that was, because she's like, I should not have to speak for all black women, all black people over the world. But it's like, that's very much true. But she had a really beautiful response to it where she's like, I began to take that and started thinking, like, I'm a representative of the human race, and try to be like, I am a person, and what can I do in every interaction to, like, make the human race seem a little bit better.
Yeah.
So, like, that was nice. But it's like, it's very much true. It's like, you're a representative of everyone who looks like you or acts like you.
Any minority group, that's, like, what you have to deal with.
When
and it's just, like, not fair and shouldn't have to be. And so it's like, then we shouldn't blame people when they snap or don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Or, just don't buy into that. Because it's like, you're not actually a representative of your entire race.
And it's not your responsibility to make, terrorist groups.
Yeah.
But, and so part of me is like, yes, I wish you would have just killed all these white cloaks because they deserve it.
I know. Yeah, it's like, just get rid of them.
So it's a very frustrating scene, but one that, like, just, like, is very, like, dynamic, and there's a lot of depth to it. And I think there are a lot of scenes in The Wheel of Time where Robert Jordan is doing a lot with, like, the complexity of social issues and intersecting groups.
Yeah, which I think happens a lot with the white cloaks in particular, and it's just annoying because the white cloaks, like every militant terrorist group in the world, are so annoying to actually deal with.
Well, and it's frustrating because Robert Jordan falls into the trap of then trying to make them sympathetic, or, like, asking us to, like, if not sympathetic, like, understand what is appealing about these militant groups by, like, putting Galad in their ranks and, like, giving them points of view. Like, at the bare structural level of literature, when you give the point of view to any type of perpetrator, like, you are automatically asking your reader to consider things from their points of view. That's just how point of view works. So it's why it's very upsetting and horrible when you get all these points of views from your... And I don't want to say villains, because sometimes it is really interesting to read. Like, I don't have any problem necessarily reading from the Forsakens' point of view, because they occupy, like, a little bit of a different... But when you put us in this, like, I don't know. It's just bad.
Well, and it's like, here we are introduced to Dane Bornhald, the son of the elder Bornhald, and sort of, it's a total joke when he's like, you haven't heard the last from me. I'm Dane Bornhald. Remember my goddamn name. And they're like, literally forgot it instantly.
They're like, who?
But it's like, here we're being introduced to a character who's like, his dad died, and that's kind of sad, And so it's kind of like asking us to sort of sympathize with the idea that he has had a rough time and would want to find someone to pin his anger on. And then sort of as Dane Bornhald continues to be a character throughout this series, like, Robert Jordan is asking us to root for his progression into not being an asshole, And it's like, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Literally, I've never cared about anyone less than I've cared about Dane Bornhald.
Correct.
He could literally have just stopped being a character after this. Like, literally never come up again, and I wouldn't have noticed.
Yeah, me neither.
Much less mourned for him. Yeah. Like, who cares?
Nah.
Same with pretty much all the white cloaks.
Yeah.
So, like, okay, bye.
It's very frustrating, because then it's like, oh, you guys, so you just don't have any empathy for other people, and I'm like, stop pulling that argument, because it's like, empathy is a two-way street. And it's not that I don't have empathy for human beings as human beings, and think that they all should be, drawn and quartered, but, like, you're just giving the perspective and the power and, like, the arcs to wrong people. People.
Anyway, then they get to Tarvalon and
to the vagina city.
Yes, there's a big map and it looks exactly like a diagram of a vagina. It's like the joke is right there. It's so easy.
We did one of the graffitied books for Galen.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, and I literally, like, diagrammed it. I was like, this is the clitoris, these are the inner labia, these are the outer labia, this is the vagina, this is the urethra.
I think for this, we're also doing a graffitied book of the Dragon Reborn, another one. I think we should just print out and actually, like, slap it in there and then relabel it as Tarvalon. So,
I think she could fuck with
you
that.
can look forward to that, Abigail.
We'll put, like, an NSFW warning on the other side.
I know. Anyway, welcome to Vagina City. Here we are. Edwin's like, it's my home, homecoming. I feel so...
No, that's very tender.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, good for you, Edwin.
And then Robert Jordan describes Tarvalon for, like, 8 pages.
Excruciating detail.
Yeah.
Look how beautiful it is. It smells like flowers, and it's so white. And I'm like, literally, it's like a man monologuing about a vagina, you know? Or what he wants the vagina to be.
Ooh, Emily.
Damn.
That was...
Just got deep.
Deep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a vagina.
Oh my God. It's just so easy.
The jokes really are just writing themselves, you guys.
Right there.
They're just literally right there.
Anyway, they get to the White Tower and are like, oh, here's this phallic thing right in the middle of Vagina City. I wonder what that says. What could it mean?
What could it mean?
And Varen's like, hey, idiots, could you please shut up for 5 minutes and just, like, not talk over everyone? So then they go and, like, get rid of their horses, and then Shiriam comes up and is like, hello, runaways, and Edwin's like, we're not. And Varen's like, shut your pie hole, you dingus! Everyone's like, okay, because we've never seen Varen angry before. And it's like, they keep being like, can you please help Matt, though? And Varen's like, yeah, I'm on it. But then in the next scene, we see Varen being like, so we could let him die.
And it's like, no!
So it's like, the suspicion is totally justified, but it's
Yeah.
also like, as you're reading this scene, you're just also sort of in Varen's camp, where it's like, ugh, just be quiet for a minute, because, you know, Varen is also sort of protecting them by just being like, let's spread this around that they're runaways, so that we're not like, these are 3 girls who were at the site where the Dragon Reborn proclaimed himself. Please, put a target on their backs.
Yeah.
You know?
She's like, no, they ran away.
They ran away, they're assholes. Punish
They're
them.
Slutty.
Yeah.
Good
God
for
damn. They went to fuck.
And Swan Sonch is like, mad respect.
Mad respect, girls. Good for
Good
you.
for you.
We've all been there.
If anyone gives off ace energy in this book, I think it's Swan
Yeah, it is
Sonch.
Swan, so it's particularly frustrating when she's like, I'm Gareth Bryn.
And I'm like, no, you're an ace lesbian.
I know,
Be
yeah.
quiet.
Just stop.
Gareth Bryn, be quiet.
So then these accepted gals, 2 of whom are named and will become important later in the series, because of course they will, escort the girls back to their rooms. It's a very, like, just, you know, transitory chapter.
Yeah.
It's like point A to point B. Now we're all worried about getting punished. And it's like, okay, fine, fair. Yeah, I would be too, I guess. You were literally gone months.
Yeah, like a long fucking time.
I know, like, it's been months. It's like a long time to
Yeah.
just, like, ditch school.
Bye!
You know? Bye!
Skipped a whole year.
Skipped a whole term.
Which term would you skip? I would probably skip 8th. No, I mean, they're like high school age. I think I would skip sophomore year.
Oh, of high school?
Yeah. That's what, Edwin's 16?
Junior year was particularly bad.
Yeah.
Just because that was, like, my hardest class load.
Mm.
And just a weird year in general.
Yeah, junior year's odd.
Junior years just kind of suck. Senior year, I was like, don't give a single fuck. Laid back as hell.
Yeah.
Whatever. Really found my don't give a shit attitude here in high school.
Don't give a shit attitude.
Don't give a shit.
Okay, anyway, then we hop on over to Swan Sonche, the Amerlincy herself, who's like, Baron, what the fuck? And Baron's like, get this.
Baron's like, so get this. Rand declared himself the Dragon Reborn. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. And Swan's like, I bet I could tell you the exact moment that happened, because literally the 2 other false dragons were like, ma, and either died or got kidnapped.
Yeah. Fuck you, Messer Tim.
Yeah, kind of R.I.P. though to the guy in
I know!
Hat and Rourke who never even has a name.
Yeah,
And
they're
I'm
like, well, they don't even remember his name. And I'm like, he just fell off his horse and died.
well, he got executed.
Oh.
They were like, he fell off his horse, got knocked unconscious, and then the Terrans were just like, and
guess
now we're
we'll
gonna
kill
kill
him.
you. And I'm like, it seems like he should have a name, you know?
Yeah.
Especially because Rand's about to ride face first into Tyr. where they just killed a false dragon.
And also, like, yeah, we can give a name to literally every other motherfucker in the entire series.
But not this one guy.
But Robert Jordan's like, it's thematic. And I'm like, it's not.
Robert Jordan's like, no name here, because I'm too lazy. And I'm like, wow, for the first time in your goddamn life, you can't be bothered to name a character?
Let's give him a name.
Okay. Let me think about it.
Okay. I had a great uncle named Lineal.
Lineal?
His name was Lineal Francis.
What in the world?
Mm-hmm. So that's on the table.
I was gonna say something, Spanish, because Tier's got big Spain vibes, you know?
Okay.
So something like Raphael.
Raphael's always a classic.
Yeah. Or, Raul. Yeah. Oh, wait, no. What's the name of the guy in the Lizzie McGuire movie? Sing for me,
Paolo.
Paolo.
Sing for me,
I
Paolo.
think his name should be Paolo, because the same thing that happens to Paolo happened to him here. He just got publicly humiliated and then died.
Do you think that's what happened to Paolo? Do you think afterwards the fake
killed.
Lizzie McGuire star just dragged him backstage and just, like, fucking slit his throat?
Yeah, I think it became a vigilante movie. Fake Lizzie McGuire was just like, and now I will fight crime.
First, this douchebag.
With my powers of voice.
Hey now, hey now.
This is what dreams are made of.
That movie kicks ass. So
we own it on DVD. We could watch it. I know. Found it in the
Amazing.
back of my friend's car one time.
Yeah, you just this strange life you've led,
like,
Emily.
Chandler, I'm taking this.
And Chandler was like, okay.
Chandler was like, okay, whatever.
Anyway, yeah, then Varen's like, what if we just let Matt die? Because he blew the Horn of Valyr.
Yeah,
Super
this is when it,
inconvenient.
comes out that once you've blown the Horn of Valyr, you are then tied to it.
Yeah.
And so the whole idea is, like, either we're now pinning our hopes for the Horn of Valyr on Matt, or we let him die and just, like, pick some other rando out of the crowd to,
Yeah.
be like, you are the official blower of the Horn of Valyr. We'll call you when it's the last battle. Until then, you're under house arrest, witness protection program,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like either we pin it on the most unreliable person we've ever met, or we find some rando. So it's like you can kind of see the temptation here.
You can see it. I still don't buy it.
Yeah, it's still just like, okay, just heal Matt, though, because...
For fuck's sake.
It's, like, just hilarious that we've just had Varen be like, listen, I said I do not use the one power as weapons. And I'm like, okay, but you will not use the one power to let someone die intentionally.
Do you know in the hospitals they call it slow code?
Really?
When it's like...
Maybe we'll just let this person die?
Yeah.
Huh. Is that a thing that happens?
I don't think often because it's unethical.
Yeah, of course.
But, like, I think mostly my mom uses that as a joke. Or my mom would be like, my mom's threat would always be like, she's always like, I hate this man, and if he was dying, I would obviously go help him, but a major slow code.
It's like just to describe the action of sort of dragging your feet.
Just kind of like, I always pictured it like in slow motion, like the nurses are running, but it's like, this person,
taking our
obviously should not be resuscitated, but the family won't let go.
Yeah.
Or then there's like, there's not a DNR or something like that.
Wow.
And it's like, called the slow code. I really think that it was like probably something that was common when my parents were doing hospital work in the 80s.
No, not so much.
Probably not now.
Yeah, that seems like an 80s
Yeah, right. The 80s was just like...
Serial killers everywhere. Unethical medical practices.
Yeah, height of the AIDS
cough,
crisis.
AIDS, yeah. Uncough.
So, don't worry that your doctors are going to slow code you. I didn't mean to give you anxiety.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Doctors are good people.
Yeah, your medical practitioner wants to help you.
That's correct.
Unlike Swan, Sanche, and Barrett in this scene
like,
where they're like,
kill Matt?
Yeah. I'm like, cool motive, still murder.
Yeah.
Literally, he's dying.
Go save that boy.
I know.
Go save that Matt boy.
It's just like, they're also just setting up this whole thing for like Matt to blow the Horn of Valyr at the last battle, which, spoiler alert, doesn't happen.
No!
I know. Because he died, technically.
It's really sad.
I know. But it's like a whole plot thing that they're like, we have to get the Horn of Valyr to Matt. And then it's like, Matt doesn't even... Everyone kind of thinks that Matt still has to blow the Horn of Valyr, but he doesn't. Because he did die, like, 3 different times.
So the Horn of Valyr doesn't get blown at all?
No, it does. But I'm not going to tell you who does it.
This bothers me a lot.
I know
wish
that
you
he
hadn't
sets
told
things
me
up,
that.
sorry.
Yeah.
Should have asked permission
Like,
first.
what is wrong with people who don't believe in plot integrity?
I know.
Cough, cough,
it's
Brandon
like, don't
Sanderson.
set something up and then not follow through with it, because it, like, would have been really rewarding if they were like, we've had to agonize over getting the horn to Matt, and now he blows it, and great. They're like, no, it's cool enough, it's important enough that he literally leads, like, the armies.
Yeah.
General forces.
But what if
no,
Matt...
it's not.
I
Let him
know.
call all the heroes. Let him ring up Artur Hawkwing and be like, hey, bro.
Hey, bruh, it's me, Matt.
It's me, Matt. You are needed ASAP.
You think you got time to, like, come do some fighting?
Can you just, like, roll in on your horse named Valor or whatever the fuck?
Oh, yeah, and Artur Hawkwing, like, Louis... What is it?
What's that carrier pigeon named Valiant?
Oh, yeah.
That Gethin told us the
I
entire plot of that movie.
I'm telling you guys, Gethin is the weirdest and most perfect boy I've ever met in my entire life, and I cannot handle how tall he
Anyway,
is.
if Artur Hawkwing's horse is also named Valiant, I will fucking lose it.
But, like, I want Artur Hawkwing, like, gets Matt's, you know, DM on Instagram, just, like, rips off his shirt and, like, let's
Honestly.
go. Like that guy in Full Metal Alchemist, the big one, the strong man. What's his name? Armstrong.
Alex Louis Armstrong.
Yeah. He's just, like, flexes and his shirt comes off.
Alex Louis Armstrong!
Yeah.
I'll
And
heal you with the power of my shirtlessness. And
Yeah.
Ed's like, no!
Matt and Edward Elric. I cannot speak today. They have
Matt,
kind of a similar
they do
energy.
have very
Yeah.
similar energy. Weird. Oh, now that I've seen that, I can't unsee it.
You're right.
Also love explosions.
Ed does.
Also think that they have a good sense of style and definitely don't.
Definitely do not.
Yeah. Have a spear weapon as preferred. Ed always makes a spear, I feel like.
Yeah, Matt would punch God.
Yeah. That would definitely punch God.
You bastard! So anyway, meditate on that for a little while.
Yeah, just like think about that one.
I'm gonna write an essay on this blog that I'm trying to get started about all the characters and their levels of Big Matt Cathon energy.
Ooh, that's exciting. Anyway, so that's kind of...
Tweet us if you've got some ideas. So far we've got Brendan Fraser and the Mummy,
Yeah.
Edward Elric,
And Diego and Umbrella
Diego
Academy.
from Umbrella Academy.
Yeah.
So,
Who basically, it's just the knife thing.
and
Otherwise,
Puss in Boots from Shrek.
yes. Also, Big Macathon energy.
Anyway, it's like, please go heal Matt. I only love him and him alone.
Yeah, and like, spoiler alert, it's gonna be another 3 weeks before he gets healed in our time, because we have to fucking get through, like, there are like 2 more episodes we have to do, and then Matt gets healed.
Really upsetting.
Yeah, it's way upsetting. Especially because you're used to kind of... These books are so weird in the way that time is handled. Like, we get these big chunks
Yeah.
that's like literally 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then you know, actually these books take place over the course of 2 years. So there's all this just downtime that's never commented on.
Yeah.
Which is really weird.
No, time is bizarre.
Time is a...
Time is a... What is it from The Good Place?
Jeremy Bear Me. God, I love The Good Place.
I love at the end of that scene where Janet points and she's like, that's my birthday.
Janet's such a good character.
Jeremy Bear Me, baby.
Okay.
The Good Place is also a really good show.
Yeah, stop this and watch The Good Place, the other best show on earth.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not going to get back to healing Matt for a little while, and we're just going to wallow in the White Tower for a little while.
Wallow's a perfect word for
Yeah,
it.
just like waiting to get punished, and then Swan Sanche is like, just kidding, I have this whole mission impossible for you.
Yeah, imagine being... Swan Sanche, I don't think understands how children work, because she's like, secret mission, great, 2 16-year-olds and 9 knave.
Swan Sanche has big Dumbledore energy.
Oh, you're right!
It's both like the unethical practice of having your children do the dirty work for you.
Yeah.
It's like Swan Sanche, you literally have this army of trained women at your beck and call.
Yeah.
Surely, like, if you pick out a couple, like, one of them might be Black Aja, but what are the chances both of them will be?
Yeah.
You know? I just don't know.
Just send Leanne.
Yeah, just send Leanne.
Leanne would probably kick some ass.
Confident in her. Anyway.
Suck some dick and kick some ass.
It's like, why are you so confident that these 3 girls aren't dark friends? Just because they're young and stupid?
Well,
they
does
are.
kind of give them away.
Yeah. They're like, what?
Evil?
Evil, but we're idiots.
It's true. Are the 2 mutually exclusive, though?
No, because look at all the white cloaks.
Fair point.
Fair point.
Look at Dane Bornhold.
Dane, you stupid ass.
Listen, if you name any child Dane.
Our across the street neighbor, Kitty Corner, his name's Dane.
No.
I know. He has a very tall wife.
I love my big boy.
Yeah, he's literally, I live my tall life. She used to play basketball in college.
Hell yeah.
I know, good for her.
Love me a tall woman.
Anyway, sorry for the weird energy of this episode. I feel like it's bizarre.
It's always strange, isn't it?
Yeah. But we're gonna stop now and go watch The Umbrella Academy. So.
You are right, but first we have some housekeeping. Why am I getting text
tell me.
messages from my brother Perry?
Hello?
So if you do not follow us on social media, and did not see the exciting announcement, we are now available on YouTube and Spotify, but those come with a caveat that we're starting to release episodes on that beginning season 3, so you can find like the last extra episode we did of season 2 and then current season 3 episodes, just to make it like a clean cut after we stopped using Tub Thumping as our theme song so that we don't get sued. And so I put something out on social media saying that if you showed us a screenshot showing that you'd subscribe to us on YouTube or Spotify, we'd give you a special little shout out. So here are the people. I know a bunch of you follow us on YouTube, but YouTube isn't showing me all of our subscribers because of some privacy settings. So good for you protecting your privacy on the internet is what I say. So I just want to give these shout-outs to Other Grim on Twitter, Ethan, Al, Victor, Mustafa, Thomas, Sam, Matt, Anya, Gary, Edgar, and Addie. Thank you guys so much for following us on YouTube and or Spotify. If you do both, that's even better. That's double the places you can find EHR on your morning commute.
MVPs. All of you.
All of you.
Mm-hmm. Is that it for housekeeping?
Also we haven't said this in a while, so if you're interested and you're loving what the podcast is doing, we'd love for you to support us on Patreon.
Yeah.
That enables us to make the podcast better and do lots of stuff like get Emily some new software for editing.
Yeah, that's next on our to-do list. One day I will escape the cold, grim death that is Audacity.
Yeah, as we stare into its black abyss as we record this.
It's like freezing to death in that short story. To build a fire.
Oh, yeah.
The Jack London one.
That's what you're doing. You're killing
That was
Emily.
another disturbing one that was read to me in my 5th grade art class.
Your art teacher had some problems.
Yeah, he definitely did.
Anyway, so if you want to help Emily forget about her traumatizing art teacher so that she doesn't die in the fire of Audacity.
I never will.
You can support us on Patreon, but supporting Emily is not the only motivation. You also get access to a lot of bonus content like our blooper reel, Emily's blog as she reads the last 3 books of Wheel of Time, our other weird podcast, We Don't Watch Outlander, and if you support us for $5 a month, you can get a graffitied Wheel of Time book.
Yeah, and
with
eventually
maybe a vagina inside it.
Eventually, when we have enough money, we'll be able to make Larry the Trolloc merch. That's like next on our to-do list.
That is my dream! Could you guys imagine if we had like little Larry stickers they could slap on your computer?
Yeah.
And people would be like, what the fuck is that? And you'll say,
Again,
that's my son Larry.
We're looking for an artist.
Yeah.
If you would like to draw Larry the Trolloc, please DM us.
Please DM us. We'd also, I think t-shirts we'd find. We could have Larry and Jeremy and Stephanie the Wolf.
Exactly, and whoever else we come up with between then and now.
I just think some Larry the Trolloc merch would be really fun.
Me too.
Just be Larry with like a little flower crown on.
Larry the good Trolloc.
Jeremy's got the flaming, raging, poisoning sword of doom.
Jeremy has a box of matches.
Yeah, between his teeth.
And a maniacal.
He's got lit matches in his teeth.
Gonna lose it. Okay, Stephanie has a long-suffering look on
and
her
is just
face.
totally built.
Yeah.
It's like a stacked wolf.
Just a wolf with a six-pack.
Yeah. And like a bro tank on.
Yeah.
Stephanie's a butch wolf, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Natch.
So give her a butch haircut. She's got like cool shaved on one side.
She's got a lightning bolt shaved on the side of her wolf head.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. That's where you can just, if you are interested, it's patreon.com/everybodyhatesrand. There are links to it on our website. And I was recently talking about it on Twitter, so you can find some easy links there if you're interested. Or if you're just looking for it, give us an email, a DM, and we can hook you up. So.
Okay, you want to sign us off?
Sure, yeah. The other day I was out with my friend Veronica. We went and got the world's most white people empanadas that basically had no spice or flavor. And I was like, I don't know what I expected from this white hell valley that we live in. The Nutella one was pretty good, though. Ooh. Then afterwards we went out shopping, and I bought some new clothes. And while I was, checking out with the nice lady who let me use my friend Veronica's student discount on my purchases, which was very nice, like, one of the mean girls, TM, from my high school, like, rolled up into this Madewell, and she, like, went behind the register to interrupt the conversation that I was having with the woman that was checking me out. Like, interrupted our conversation, interrupted what she was doing, and she's like, hey, lift up those shirts. And so the girl was like, what? And she's like, that one on the bottom, where can I find it? And I was like, the store is not very big, Madeline. Just go look for it.
Oh my god.
And then she proceeded to be like, look at me, and she's like, that'd be a really good gift for my mom. And I was like, yeah, I dress like a mom. Do you want to fucking fight?
What, the entitlement of going behind the counter. If someone came behind the desk where I work, I would literally gut punch them as a self, like, defense reflex.
Yeah.
Be like, surely you're here to do some terrible deed.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It was just really rude. Just, like, start to finish.
Perish, Madeline.
Yeah, Madeline's a total dick.
Along with Dane Bornhold.
Yeah, she'd probably be a white cloak. If they let women in.
Yeah, wow. Wow. Layers upon layers.
Goodbye, I love you.
Like a dip. Bye.